why would you invite a 15-year-old boy over to play games and watch TV with your children?
I never invited him over to do anything with my children. He was a next door neighbor for a while, and he came and he helped in the yard. He did yard work for us. You know, I never invited him to my house.
Okay, so then when he came over to your house, why did you approach him in the way you did?
I'm going to be totally truthful with you. I did not approach him with this. He came to me with it. He came on to me. He kept on, but that's still not excusable for me. I knew better, and I should have did the right thing, and I didn't.
Okay, I just wasn't aware that she was a sex offender because it wasn't brought to my attention yet. We have a sex offender treatment that we can get her enrolled in, and we can look at what she also qualifies for.
Yes, that's right. I didn't invite him into my home, but somehow he ended up in my home. And he came on to me. I didn't propose this. He proposed it. And I just, even though I had a husband and kids, I couldn't help myself and have self-control. But I'm the victim, really, in all of this. And furthermore, I've been in prison for 2 years, and the jail staff and the prison staff at this transitional housing had no idea, and the other prisoners had no clue that I was even a sex offender. Welcome to the Dark Underbelly. Today, we are going to cover the case of Jessica Hiller, who was convicted back in 2019, 2020 of sexually abusing a 15-year-old neighbor of hers, which is a relatively common thing that never gets reported hardly. The case unfolds. She gets probation and for a term of a few years. No prison time, no jail time. She gets probation. But later on, almost off of probation, she's caught with 30 grams of meth in her home. Not a 2.5 hit left. I mean, we're talking about thousands of hits left with 30 grams of it all over in her makeup case, in cabinets, with 3 kids around. Her husband's still with her. Imagine that. She sexually abuses a 15-year-old boy. Husband sticks with her. She gets probation. And the 3 kids, she's still allowed to be a mother around her 3 children, even though she's a sex offender. So many cases of male predators that are convicted of these crimes, the children are removed from the home. There is no more contact because they're sex offenders and they shouldn't be around kids, even in some cases in their own kids. But Jessica Hiller kept that family unit together. Her husband stuck with her. 3 kids, enough that she could have enough confidence to go out and gather 30 grams of meth. And she got caught by her probation folks in Louisiana that will now make her serve her prison sentence for the original charge of sexually abusing a child. This is a pretty interesting and enlightening probation hearing, in the parole hearing, where you get in the mindset of she believes she made a mistake, but it was about the drugs and the meth. She's still uncomfortable with the fact that she is a criminal and a predator that abused a boy. He came on to me. He proposed this. I didn't invite him into my home. All of this excuse. She says she made one mistake, referring to the drugs, not the sexual abuse, even though even sexually abusing a kid is not just a mistake. It's a lot more than a mistake. But she didn't even think that it was a mistake. It was the drugs that got her in this position. So let's take a look at this. This parole hearing happened in 2023. She remains in the Louisiana Department of Corrections. I believe she's going to have to serve her full term now, which she'll be released in 2026. The case and the parole hearing in Louisiana of Jessica Hiller.
Hi, good morning. It's still morning. The Committee on Parole, we are reconvening. We're at Louisiana Transitional Center for Women. Today is Tuesday, December 14th, 2023. It is 11:37 a.m. Would the staff at LTCW please introduce yourself for the record?
Good morning, LaTanya Chase, facilitator.
Ashley Oliver. All right, that's everybody. Great. Thank you for accommodating us today. And we have Ms. Hiller there in
Yes,
front of us. Would you
Yes, ma'am.
introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
My name's Jessica Hiller, and my DOC number is 742498.
Yes, that's what we have. Miss Hiller, you're classified as a second felony offender. You're currently serving a 5-year sentence for, you were sentenced in August 2019 for carnal knowledge of a juvenile. You were afforded probation. That was revoked. August 17, 2022 for a new felony conviction, which was possession of methamphetamines.
Yes,
You have a parole eligibility date, which was June the 30th, 2023. You do not earn good time because you're not eligible. You have a full term date, November 1st, 2026. Is all that correct?
yes, ma'am.
All right, your case has been assigned to Mr. Roche. Before I turn it over to him, I want you to know that your father and your stepmom are here, and both of them want to speak on your behalf, and we'll ask them to do so at the appropriate time. So would you answer any questions Mr. Roche may have?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Good morning, Ms. Higgins.
Good morning. How are y'all?
Good. Ms. Higgins, you're currently 37 years old, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you're a second felony offender, and you've served 2 years on a 5-year sentence. Is that
Yes,
correct?
sir. That is correct.
So tell me exactly why you were incarcerated today.
I violated my probation, and I got caught with drugs, and I failed a drug test. I did almost all of my probation. I was going on my 3-year mark when I messed up. And
Ms. Higgins, do you have children?
yes, sir, I have 3.
And 3 children
Yes, sir.
living in your home.
No,
Oh.
sir.
No. Your children weren't living in a home at the time you were.
When I was on probation, yes,
Yeah.
they were living in my home. But now me and their dad divorced, so they're not living with me.
You've been in prison for 2 years. When you were caught with 30 grams of meth,
You were revoked.
the kids were living with you.
living at home
Yes, sir.
with your husband and your 3 children,
Yes, sir.
and you had.
Okay, so Jessica Hiller here in front of the Louisiana Board of Pardons and Committee on Parole. Her husband, so we're just putting together the pieces of this life. She was originally convicted of having sex with this 15-year-old or teenage boy from the neighborhood. And she gets probation, of course. The initial sentence is probation. And she's now a sex offender. She had sex with this child, and her husband and her 3 kids, she's living in the home with them. Husband hadn't yet divorced her after the crimes and the convictions. And the 3 children, the minor children, she's still able to be around her minor children, even though she was a sex offender who was convicted of sexually abusing a kid. Again, I like to point out the fact that we've got angles here, right? How easy it is for women to commit these crimes and to society to forgive them and let them going on with their life. One of the risks and the risk prevention for male offenders to commit these crimes, one of them is the societal, basically black mark on your record, and the fact that you're a sex offender and you will have a hard time getting hired. Your wife will probably, or girlfriend will probably leave you. Your children are taken away from you. We've made it somewhat difficult, and I know that it's not perfect, and there's obviously things that slip through the crack here, but the egregious element of treating female offenders versus male offenders. And I agree that, people often say about this channel that we're not hard on that we want there to be leniency. No, we want there to be equality in the treatment to the level of what men see. This is not, we want male predators to be treated like the joke that female predators are treated in the system and by society. And again, husband doesn't leave her. She's living at home with her 3 kids while on probation for sex offenses against the child.
Meth and other drugs all around the house, your cosmetic case, in the bathroom. It almost equals 30 grams of meth in your home. So why would you have drugs
That ain't no
in a
2.5.
home with minor children?
I have no excuses. It's something that's inexcusable. I shouldn't have done it. It was a bad time in my life, but I can't make excuses up for that because I did it. And
what she will claim victimhood about and make excuses for is when the neighbor boy came on to her and sexually abused her.
I can say the drugs wasn't only my drugs, but
you just said that.
I was the one that was caught with them, so I take full responsibility for it.
Let's go back a couple of years. Why would you invite a 15-year-old boy over to play games and watch TV with your children?
I never invited him over to do anything with my children. He was an expert.
So how did he get in your house when you sexually abused him and had sex with him? He just broke in, and how was he in your home? And she immediately, okay, look how she's okay to say on the drugs, I could say that they weren't mine. So that's what you're saying. You didn't take any very little accountability, but she still said it's inexcusable. When the sex charges come up and the fact that she's an offender that abused a boy, you can immediately see her start digging in with excuses and victimhood right from the get. I didn't invite him over. And then watch her go into the remainder of this complete sociopath that a lot of these female offenders will show. They are not sorry. They know friends of theirs that got away with this. They know boys that did this and didn't report it. And so they're resentful and angry about it. Like we saw with Lunch Lady, Andy Rosefort. She wanted to pray for her victims that she sexually abused, but her whole social structure was telling her, why in the heck are you praying for someone that put you here? How could a boy report this? Boys aren't supposed to report this stuff. They got to keep it a secret. He put you here.
Neighbor for a while.
Don't pray for him.
He came and he helped in the yard. He did yard work for us. I never invited him to my house.
Okay, so
how did he get in the house when you guys had sex?
Why did you approach him in the way you did?
I'm going to be totally truthful with you. I did not approach him with this. He came to me with it. He came on to me. He kept on, but that's still not.
The mentality inside this type of offense, and there we have it yet again. Lunch Lady, the boy's extorting me. People are telling me that I shouldn't be praying for someone that put me here. He came on to me. He came to me with this. I didn't invite him into my house, but somehow he ended up in my house, and somehow I ended up having sex with this kid, even though while I'm married with 3 children with meth everywhere. It's, again, they want to have their cake and eat it too. They know that they've committed these egregious crimes that have mostly been a male-dominated or male-prosecuted crime, right? Everybody points to 95% of sex offenders are men. Yes, because the system doesn't prosecute women. The system doesn't collect this because boys, initially, this is a victim reporting crime. You need to have a victim to come forward. When millions and millions of boys don't think they're victims, they're not reporting the crime. We've covered that on this channel. We will repeatedly bash that in on this channel. Boys don't report these crimes. I don't believe that 95% of sex offenders are men. I believe that for those that got reported, for the victims that were empowered to come forward, the perpetrator was in 95% of the cases men. But you can see the mentality here. She wants her cake and eat it too. She wants to say that, you know, he came on to me, he proposed it. I didn't invite him in. This is, I'm totally innocent, but it's still inexcusable. She's still got to come back to the fact that, you know, adults having sex with kids, we've all been trained, we've all been taught, we know the law, we know the morals and the ethics. Adults can't be having sex with kids. Didn't quite get it there, but she's still got to give a little bit to, it's inexcusable. So he came on to me, all this other stuff, but it's still inexcusable.
Not excusable for me. I knew better, and I should have did the right thing, and I didn't.
Thank you, Ms. Hilliard. Ms. Hilliard,
Yes, sir.
tell this panel the programs that you've completed since you were incarcerated.
They haven't allowed me to do any classes or anything like that because I am flat time and it doesn't count for me. But I was able to do a anger management course through the church when I was incarcerated in Concordia. They had more programs that I was going to do there, but then they transferred me here.
So Ms. Hilliard, you're telling me you have a drug conviction and you are classified as a sex offender, and you have no substance abuse treatment, and you have no sexual sex offender treatment. Is that correct?
No, sir. I took the whole time I was on probation, I was in a sex offenders program where I took classes. I attended every class. I made all my payments. I did everything that they asked me.
Once you got to prison, they had no clue.
Since you've been incarcerated,
No, they have not allowed me to take anything. I have requested it. I have the papers where I requested to take these classes, but they told me
I
no.
have those papers too, madam.
Okay.
Okay, your flat time, 5 years, you've served on 2 years, which is insufficient for the magnitude of your offenses. And you have no programming. The reason for incarceration is for rehabilitation. And you have not received any program that will enable you
You haven't been rehabilitated at all.
rehabilitate yourself. Therefore, it's going to be very difficult for me to vote to release you early. And I'm going to make a recommendation that Louisiana Transition Center for Women place
Yeah, that
you
sounds
in
like a tough prison.
a substance abuse program, and if there is a sex offender program available, I'm going to request that also.
Would you give me
What
the
is your
opportunity?
job? What is your, ma'am, I'm conducting this interview, not you.
sorry.
Ooh,
What is your job assignment at Louisiana
they won't let her work.
Transition Center for Women?
They don't have me working right now.
So what do you do 24 hours a day?
I go to church, I read
Pray.
my Bible, and watch TV. I've wrote for jobs. They're just not, they won't allow me to do anything.
As of my report, you had no disciplinary write-ups. Is that still true?
That is true.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Mr. Roachman. We'll hear from your family members now, Miss Hiller, Miss, I don't know how to pronounce the last name. Miss Tiffany, would you pronounce it for me? Okay, yeah, go ahead. If you would step up to the podium and let us, yeah, I did say no, I apologize. It did, yeah. Go ahead, sir.
I wasn't prepared to make a speech, so anyway, so this, here I am. As a father, and we follow our children, you know, through their trials and tribulations.
And your daughter has some of
understand
them.
her charges, but also understand the actual promiscuous for adolescent teen. Did I say that? Okay. And I understand it as a male, you know. And also understand sometimes these things as mothers and grandmothers don't approve. And it shouldn't, if mistakes are made, and it shouldn't be. But it kind of gets, brought about that way. So I won't stand here and make any excuses for it. I know that she was doing everything she was supposed to do. I understand it.
Other than she had sex with a 15-year-old neighbor boy doing her lawn and accumulated 30 grams of meth all over her house with her 3 children around that she didn't get taken out of the home because she's an RSO, and the fact that her husband stuck with her. But she's made a few mistakes.
That she's had some hard times.
She's had some hard times.
But I also understand it in some circumstances that all of these problems is not one sided.
Not one.
Yeah. As soon as she got picked up on this new charge, her husband found an excuse to have another baby 30 days later.
So as soon as she got picked up for having 30 grams of meth all over her house with 3 kids in her home as a registered sex offender, that was when Daddy claims that husband, found an excuse to have another female 30. So Dad didn't realize that hubby could have had an excuse when she was charged with the sex crime of having sex with a 15-year-old, that was an excuse. Now Dad's mad that husband who stuck with her through sexual abuse of a boy, but now Dad's mad that he found an excuse finally. Having sex with a 15-year-old wasn't good enough for the husband or the father for him to leave her, and now Dad is angry that his I guess stepson or son-in-law, not stepson, son-in-law, found an excuse to get out of this because, who could leave his good, precious, innocent daughter for the crimes, the little tiny parking ticket crime levels that she committed? And mistake. She's had a hard time.
He also found the excuse to file a divorce.
Oh, no way.
I mean, just immediately after she was picked up. She was taking care of her children. She didn't have a job. That was her job, take care of her children.
I do meth all day.
The support, the funding for what she did had to come from somewhere else. So I'm not making excuses for her. I'm just saying it's just not all of her duties. So, as a parent, we hope that she gets the programs that she needs and that she continues to prosper from that and become a, adequate part of our society. My long-term thing is to get her back to be mother. And when she can do that, the other part of this is we don't get to see our grandkids anymore. So maybe she can prosper and be a mother, and then I can be a grandparent. So that would be the whole thought that I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that with us. We appreciate it. If whenever she's eventually released, that would be it to live with you for a while and holding.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll work with me. We have some rentals and we do our own work on. So she will come and live with me and we'll try to yeah.
Yes, sir. Good deal. All right. Let me ask the staff there at LTCW, is there any input you can offer for Ms. Hiller?
And this is where it gets good.
Just a moment. We're getting one of the program coordinators.
Transitional housing. Sex offender abused a kid. She's in transitional housing.
What's your name?
Jessica Hiller.
Okay. I just wasn't aware that she was a sex offender because it wasn't brought to my attention yet. We have a sex offender treatment that we can get her enrolled in. And we can look at what she also qualifies for.
That's not her name.
No. It doesn't say.
Little bits and pieces. This woman has spent 2 years in state prison, transitional housing. It seems as though the prison staff had no clue that this woman was a sex offender who had abused a child after 2 years. You know, day one in prison for men, you got dirty papers, and the prison staff is already probably shaking you down, notifying all the other prisoners. Phone calls are being made on the outside. What are the crimes? Just to use that as, leverage or extra punishment, or to use it to shank you or injure you or kill you in prison if you're a male offender. Again, one of the risk assessments that, people, that these are what happens to people that hurt children, not for women. This staff and probably the entire system had no clue for 2 years that this woman had molested a kid. Angles. Another reason why this is like a joke. There's no risk, really. She's got a supportive family. Husband stayed with her. She's out doing meth again. She's got her 3 kids with her. She got probation. And the victim's family from the original charge are nowhere here. I mean, I don't see the 40-year-old, 50-year-old man of the father of the 15-year-old boy that says, this woman, my kid didn't go to college, or he's had some other effects. He's now being accused of stuff himself for abusing women, or, being violent, or crime, or whatever, that spirals, that these cases that I see time and time again spiral out of control. There's no family here for the victim pressing to keep this woman in prison, this sociopath in prison that did what she did. They're a no-show. And the only time we actually see some shows, it's all mothers and women that show up, that know the damage and can present it and have the bravery and courage to come and say, this woman hurt my son. Keep her in prison. We've yet to see a parole or probation hearing in which a man has stepped forward and said the same thing. This woman hurt my son. She's dangerous and a sociopath. Keep her in prison. We don't see that here. And furthermore, as we've already stated, this prison has no clue, transitional housing has no clue that she's a sex offender. After 2 years of being in the system, they don't know that she's a sex offender. Day one for men that do these crimes, get punished in the system. Don't hurt kids and that won't happen. That's a risk that you take if you hurt a kid. Part of it is the prison system, prison justice. On the women's side, they don't even know that she's an offender, that she hurt a kid for 2 years. And if they do know, in the case of Andy Rosafort, how the hell could you pray for that boy who put you here? They're not shanking her. She's not got any marks on her face. Have you ever heard of a woman sex offender being killed by other female prisoners? I've done a lot of research. Send it to me on Instagram, Twitter, down below in the description. Contact me if you've heard of a female sex offender being killed by other female prisoners. I haven't. They either don't know that you're a sex offender because they don't trade on that. They don't care about that. It's a laugh and a joke to them. They're the victims. Or the kid put you here. How could a boy mouth off about this? How could a boy cooperate? We're used to boys keeping this secret and quiet, not telling anybody.
You don't qualify. Did you read the letter to them verbatim?
They haven't.
Before we vote, Jessica.
Okay, but it just means that when we get to your treatment time, because there's others with shorter out dates than you that also have to be put in classes. It doesn't mean you won't get in classes. It means we have to also give classes to those that are before you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
Jessica, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I would encourage you also to ask for a class called Thinking for Change. I think that would be very important for you. Is there anything you want to say to us before we go?
Thinking for change.
Just I'm asking y'all to give me an opportunity. I know y'all like for us to take these classes while we're in here,
Yeah.
but these classes are also available on the outside. I have taken the sex offenders class. I was enrolled in it the whole time I was on probation, and I attended every class. I paid every fee. I did everything I was supposed to do, and I was succeeding. I was excelling, and I made one mistake. And please don't punish me for that one mistake. I think I've been here.
Which was the one mistake? Having 30 grams of meth around about all your kids that you were allowed to be around, even though you were a sex offender, or molesting a boy? That you sound like he came on to you. It's all his fault. You're the victim in that situation. You made one mistake. I mistakenly forgotten to pick up milk at the store. Your one mistake was either 30 grams of meth around your 3 kids or molesting a boy. I'm assuming she means her one mistake was the 30 grams of meth. She doesn't consider it a mistake that she molested a kid. Which is not even a
I've been
mistake.
in jail over 2 years because of the mistake I made. I'm asking y'all to give me the opportunity. I know I have, even if I do take these classes on the inside, I'm still required to take them when I get out. I still have to I know I have to do my parole. I know I have to do these classes, and I take responsibility for that, and I will make sure I show up for every class. Just give me the opportunity to do it on the outside, not in here.
I think yes.
Yes, sir.
In here.
Madam Chairman, Ms. Hayden,
Yes, sir.
on a serious need,
It's on me.
a substance use treatment program, you need to be enrolled in a sex offender programs, also thinking for a change. You serve insufficient time for your offense. You have law enforcement opposition, and the DA's office in your jurisdiction is strongly opposed to your early release.
Law enforcement, this is a surprise. Victim's family didn't show up. Victim didn't show up. Law enforcement opposed and DA strongly opposed. Times might be a changing a little bit.
My vote is to deny your request.
Oh, I know you want to get out, but I really don't think you're ready. I don't think you're quick to get out. Meth is not like, it's all illegal, but it's not like smoking marijuana. Meth is a very addictive drug. It takes a lot to overcome that. And you've been on probation, and yet that wasn't enough to keep you from using that. You're not ready. And I've seen a lot
all about
of
the
people
meth.
who
Nobody's-
really, they're anxious to get out, they're gonna do all of this and do all of that, but their minds aren't where they need to be. And your mind is there, and I've seen enough people, both on this board and as my career as a judge, when you see somebody, you know when they're ready, and you know when they're not. And you're just not ready. You need to just accept that there's some more work that you need to do. You do have some kids out there, and those kids need you, but they need you to be sober. They need you to be mature. They
And
need you to be responsible.
Not a sex offender.
And that's not where you are yet. So my hope today is to deny, or please take advantage of the programs that are available for you, so that when you do get out, you're equipped to stay out.
Ms. Taylor, I do agree with my colleagues. I don't think they're ready. My vote today is to deny. Now, we just heard the facility staff there tell you they're going to try to get you in programs.
After
So
2
take
years.
advantage of those opportunities. I know you've asked, and they're going to try to help you out. So today, your floor is going to be denied. Good luck to you, man.
Thank you.
Have a seat, don't leave.
Whoa, have a seat. Don't leave. Well, the transitional housing is not as nice. So the case of Jessica Hiller, abused a 15-year-old boy, got probation. Her husband stuck with her. They had 3 kids in their home. She was on her 3rd year of probation, got jammed up with meth, and it seems like it's all about the meth. In prison, the boy came on to her. She was basically saying she was the victim in that circumstance. She didn't invite the child into the home, even though that's where the molestation occurred. Victim's family doesn't show up. So we see these angles of why it's so. This is, again, I do believe society believes a lot of this. And I'm not saying everyone. People that are fans of this channel, thank you so much for your support. It means a lot. Many of you take these very seriously. But a society at large still has a problem with these crimes not being serious. And you can even see in the system, they're not treated as serious. 2 years? Would it take 2 years for a male sex offender to come in to a prison? Take maybe 2 hours. And that's a risk that if you hurt kids, you're going to face a lot if you're a man. If you're a woman and you hurt kids and you do this kind of behavior and abuse and assault children, the risk isn't there. Chance you won't even get charged with, very good chance you'll never get charged with the crime, right? Because the boys aren't going to report it. And if you do, you might get probation. Your husband's going to stick with you. The community's going to buffer you. In the case of Lindsay Whiteside, 49 letters of support, a husband that comes to every hearing, opens up his pocketbook for your legal fees, a family that's a unit that's supportive. And we see here that even the father in this case, I feel for the family and the father and people that have to go through this. I understand that. But the level of accountability and responsibility when it comes to this is just not there yet. And these different angles that women get off these crimes for various reasons. Again, starting with the victim reporting and all the way to the punishment. And then the hearings like this, in which they still cannot process the gravity of the things that they committed and the crimes that they committed. Because I'm sure that in Jessica Hiller's friend network, she knew of friends of hers that had sex with teenage kids. They didn't get punished. She knew of situations in which, this kid might have bragged to her that she had sex with other adult women that didn't get punished. That, that the seriousness of it and the understanding of it doesn't compute. The age of consent and the consent laws that we have, statutory rape laws, simply have not been processed by society to apply to women when it comes to male victims. So this is the Dark Underbelly. Keep it right here for true crime stories like this. We focus on everything, but with a specific focus on female predators and female predator stories and cases from the start of how these cases originate, body cam, investigative tactics, witness statements, victim statements, as well as all the way to the end here of parole and probation hearings in which we look at the mind of a woman that commits these types of crimes. And we've seen 2 really unrepentant women that come forward that do not take accountability or understand the gravity of the crimes that they committed. So this is the type of coverage that we provide here so that you all get an understanding for it. Stay here at the Dark Underbelly. Please like, subscribe this video and others. These monologues are important for you all to understand the opinion of this channel and the things that we focus on and why we focus on them. Keep it here at Dark Underbelly-Z on YouTube, as well as we've got Kick, K-I-C-K. We're on Kick. We're going to do some live streamings there, as well as Locals. We put up some videos. Locals is very difficult to put up a lot of content because there's restrictions, but we'll be on Locals. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. If you have ideas for stories and cases, Instagram, Twitter, and as well as a Medium. We have a Medium page where we can actually write, better writer than anything, so better write about these stories, as well as our public records journey. Thanks so much. Until next time, this is the Dark Underbelly.